Hello, this is Jay Wood, and I'm coming to you from East Rosebud Fly and Tackle in Billings, Montana. This session we're going to do a little sow bug pattern for a river called the Bighorn. This is one of my favorites down there, and it's called a rainbow sow bug. And I like to do it in the rainbow because it shows several different colors rather than just a monotone kind of fly. Let's get started. So I'm going to start off with a Daiichi 1120 in size 12. I like the weight of the hook, so when you get a big fish on there, you don't have to worry about it straightening out. And it's got a nice big gap, so it's got a lot of good hooking power. The thread we're going to use is a uni rusty brown in 6/0. I'm going to start that right behind the eye of the hook. Run it back to the bend, and then run it back up a little bit. And then we're going to use a red Brassie sized ultra wire. I'm going to clip a little piece of this off here, and I'm going to tie that in on my side of the hook. Now you can also add weight to these flies, but I really don't like to, because I'd rather fish this and add weight to the leader, and it just lets the fly act a little bit more naturally in the water column. So once I've got my wire on there, I'm going to put the back on, and this is a large pearl tinsel. And I'm going to put a little piece of this on there. So I want to tie this in to where it's right up on top of the back. We're going to fold it over later and make the back of the fly, and it causes a separation in the dubbing. So I'll run that back to the same spot where I ran my thread over the wire. Then I'm going to run that back about halfway onto the hook shank so that I'm not having to fight the hook point when I'm putting this dubbing on here. Now this dubbing is a special blend that I make using CCT fibers. This is a fiber from Cascade Crest, and I use this for a lot of different applications, but it makes a wonderful sow bug or scud dubbing because it's kind of stiff and it's fairly thick. It's got a lot of translucency, and it comes in a variety of colors. And this is the mix that I'm using. I'm using 5 different colors, and I've got that formula right on there. So I'll just put bundles of this, cut them up about 1/2 to 3/8 of an inch long, put them in a blender, and just blend them up. And you can see what we come up with. It's got a little bit of pink, a little bit of red, some tan, and some silver in there. So when you look at the fly, it's very multicolored. Now, I'm going to dub this on here in little bunches. And I don't want to do all my dubbing at once, because if I do, because this stuff is longer and a little bit stiff, it wants to fall off the thread as I wrap it around. Now you can put dubbing wax on there, but the dubbing wax tends to dull the translucence and the shine that these fibers have. So I'm able to get about 1/2 of that. And I'm just dipping my fingers in water for moisture, and that helps me get a little bit of purchase on the dubbing as I spin it onto the thread. That right there should do it. Wrap that on there, and you can see as I'm wrapping it on there, it's really gnarly looking. There's nothing smooth and pretty about this at all. I got that wrapped up to the head. I'm going to pull that back over, and I want it right dead up on top. Pull those fibers out of the way, use my nail to hold that tinsel in place, make a couple of wraps. Then I'm going to go back, a couple more wraps, fold that tinsel over and then lock it down with 2 wraps. Snip it off. Now I'm going to wrap my wire, and I just want to create some segmentation. You want to be careful, kind of keep your back on the top of the hook shank, and you're going to get 4 or 5 good wraps on it. You come up to right behind the eye, make a full wrap around that. That'll help you build up the bulk of the head. I'm going to go behind the wire with my thread, and in front, behind, in front, and behind, and then make 3 or 4 good solid wraps behind, so that it locks that wire down, then I can just helicopter it off. I'll put a whip finish right over the top of that. Completely cover that up. Clip my thread. Now I'm going to use a brush. I like this. This is actually a manicure brush for like eyebrows or mustache. And I'm going to pick this out, but only on the sides. I don't really want it on the bottom. We're not doing a scud here, we're doing a sow bug, and the sow bugs are kind of flat. Their legs poke out to the side. And I like the way this brush, as opposed to, or this comb, as opposed to a dubbing teaser, really combs that stuff straight out. Just keep working it till you get it. You can see I'm getting a nice, big, wide profile on that. And now, once I've got that all worked out, I'm going to take it and just trim it to size. First cut it flat on top and bottom. Then I'm going to flip it around here where I can see it, and I want to clip the front, just kind of round off the body a little bit, the profile, so that it doesn't look like a big rectangle. It's a little bit rounded on the corners. Get all the really wild stuff out of the way. Clip it off on the bottom so I can get that nice flat profile. And there you have the CCT Rainbow Sow Bug.